All right, the mics are on. The glasses are full.
Or the mugs.
Craft beer ballers. Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Glasses.
Yeah, glasses full. How you doing? How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing great.
All right. Hey, we got friend of the show, part of the family, Chris, the craft beer connoisseur. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Just chilling inside on a nice quarantine Friday. I got my walk in earlier. Might get another one in tonight.
That's good.
It's
But
beautiful.
all those restrictions lightening up, right? You can go on walks now.
Yes, but the thing is, you have to hit the timing right. So I'm not working or anything. So when I'm up at odd hours, and then I was driving Uber, but I got to get a repair done in my car. When I usually drive, I'm like, sleeping during the day, working overnight. So I'll be up at odd hours of the day. So by the time I'm doing my walk, everybody's in the house. It's either early in the morning or later in the afternoon where everybody's out of the way. Once it's like 3 to 8 o'clock, you don't want to be out there. It's a traffic hazard.
Oh, yeah.
Traffic hazard.
Yeah. Today, okay, so today the weather sucks down here in Tampa. It's been, it's literally rained all day.
Yeah.
But
it was raining here the last day or two. It's been on and off. It rained last night, I want to say. Who knows these days anymore? I don't remember. I think it rained last night.
Yeah, they're running together. But so typically we'll go like me and my daughter we'll go on a bike ride at least once a day. But it's been pretty bad here. But when you're right, that 3 to 8 o'clock hour, it's like everybody's out. Like it's literally like people literally collectively said, I am so sick of this shit. I need to get outside. And so everybody's out. And so, which is good and bad thing. It's nice to see people. But at the same time, you got you keep your distance. You don't know what people are doing, And there are people. I have seen people 10 or more congregate at different points in time, which is obviously not what you're supposed to be doing. But this is Florida, so lawless land here. But for the most part, yeah. I tried, you'll see people out and about, but our rules are, it looks like Georgia, and that's one of the things I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
It looks like they're laxing up the rules out there.
They're going rogue.
I know. Look at that. Got to stimulate the economy.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So listen, I don't know about all of Georgia, but I'm in Atlanta, and my mayor name is Keisha. And Keisha ain't say we can go nowhere.
Oh, so, yeah.
Keisha say it's time for us to go. Everybody's in the house. I don't know about everybody else, mayor, they governor, and what orders they got. But around here in Atlanta, there's a general consensus of, Keisha Lance Bottoms didn't tell anybody they could go anywhere, so ain't nobody going anywhere. I literally got up this afternoon before my walk, watched the post and read it and laughed about how 2 Chainz was opening up 2 of his restaurants and his tapas bars here.
Yeah.
By the time I was done with my walk, there was a post on there to say, and I read through the comments because I wanted to see how the people responded. And everyone's like, they're open, but no one said you had to go. And it was more of a respectful, it's open, but no one's forcing you to go. And more a mix of that, and you be dumb if you go out the house during this time and be going to that place or this and that. They're already small places. There's only so much occupancy they can have in there anyway. There's only so much safe measures they can be taken. By the time I was done with my afternoon walk, 2 Chainz had posted another post to say he not opening the restaurants anymore. I guess he saw all of the backlash from everybody like, y'all are ridiculous. And really the social responsibility that everyone throws on everybody. I think that's really what it's about now is, and I think that's what the mayor does a good job of communicating. She's not forcing anybody to do anything. But what she does put a weight on your shoulders with is social responsibility. You can go do what you want to, but what risk is that putting for yourself? What risk is that putting for your family? What risk is that putting for people who you surround yourself with, even in the workplace? We're in Georgia. It's industrial. We already have a ton of truck drivers here. We already have Amazon around every corner. UPS is, FedEx is, everybody around here. People who literally are, kind of serving in front line as workers who have to be in close quarters with people they don't know, and they don't know who they go home to. And people who have to work, everybody falls within their own line of whatever their situation is, but some people can afford to work, some people can't afford to work. And we know a lot of people in this time, in this position, they look like us in this time, in this place, the ones who aren't who can't afford to work, who have to work. And, so it's just been, especially being here in Atlanta, where it's very diverse. There's a lot of culture here. And to be able to see that, there are businesses who, while the governor has done a little bit more to give a little bit more leisure and a little bit leeway to those businesses who need to be able to get out and make some money, because an economy needs to be stimulated. We're in probably bad predicaments, but we're not Las Vegas. We're not New York, and we damn sure ain't California. So it's like, Atlanta and Georgia is crazy, but Atlanta's big city here, most population. You have Augusta after that, and I think everybody here really does have the same idea and a same consensus of we're not really moving and doing anything until the governing person of our city says this is the right move to make. And our mayor has literally kind of said, like, I have a working relationship with the governor, but I know other mayors who, didn't align with that. And I'm in agreement with her. If she's literally looking like, dead face, like it's to no, then I don't think people should be jumping the gun.
Well, especially in that market. I mean, that's a big metro area. You put the most people at risk there. I totally agree that Atlanta, the mayor, should be stepping in and saying that these are the guidelines that I want us to abide by. But south of the state, like Valdosta, all the way to like LJ and the northern places, totally different.
Yeah.
And
you have places who may not have any cases of anything, but like you said, what's really important is that anybody knows, Atlanta is a metro city. It's the Manhattan of the South. You have people coming in and out and in and out. And the last thing we need is for everybody to open back up and everyone to be in the streets. It's going to be another Wuhan.
Correct. Well, yeah. And that's the thing it's been the interesting part about all this is that there is a level of overarching government that's trying to dictate a lot of policy here for a myriad of reasons. But what it really comes down to is what the local governing bodies want. Now, I've lived in Tampa and I've lived in Atlanta. The difference in Atlanta is that Atlanta is kind of like its own entity within an entity, within the state of Georgia. So yeah, Atlanta, if I was the mayor of Atlanta, I would dictate the policy of like what would happen with my citizens. I mean, you're talking like a gigantic city.
And we're talking about one of the only cities in this country that's in the business of small businesses. So you have so many people who really have so much on the line. And I think you really get to see how that correlates with our breweries, because it's like, these are those small businesses that fall in line with everyone else. But we have new breweries that just opened up. You have new beer shops, we have Firemaker Brewing that just opened up. We have Atlanta Beer Boutique that was just opening up. It's like, all of these people are in weird positions. They're still required to pay rent. No one has sent me anything, not even Geico Insurance, to say, hey, by the way, we know we're all going through this. If you need some leeway, let me know. They've just been sending me emails about what coronavirus and COVID is. I didn't ask you about that. Yeah, right. Are y'all going to push this stuff to the back end? Or no one's using their cars. No one's using these services now. And then it lets you know, for one, who you giving me $1 to, for two, how valued you are. And three, if you're in a business and you're doing anything, even if it's entrepreneur wise, even if it's big corporate stuff, if what you're not doing is essential, then your business is at risk at all times. And I don't care if your business is doing nails and toes, because I have friends who do nails and they are fully in business right now. And what I know now is being a nail lady is an essential business. My parents are morticians. They've always taught me growing up, people are always going to want their hair and nails done. People are always going to need their cars fixed, and people are always going to be dying. So make sure when you pick you a trade or something people are always going to be doing. And what they were saying is, hey, what's essential is always going to be around. My dad I can't even talk to him right now. He's busy. He's picking up bodies left and right, doing everything. He's busy.
I'm sure, for sure.
Yeah.
He's
let's talk about. I'm sorry,
he's growing his business.
Right.
Yeah, all right. Let's talk about breweries. Like, okay, so what's the general brewery vibe in Atlanta? Because I said now things might be kind of reopening. I know the vibe down here. Obviously, here it's like, okay, the general vibe I would say breweries in Tampa is we're barely hanging on. Please order our shit.
Yeah.
Really? So you're getting a lot more of the help GoFundMe type of response?
I'd say it's more like a desperate, like, hey, we're still here. Don't forget.
Yeah, don't forget. Don't buy your beer from the brewery. Don't buy it from Publix.
Come in here and get
that's marketing. And you know one thing, when I left Tampa and I moved here, and that's something that is a Tampa, I haven't been to Tampa in a long time now, especially to go to any breweries. But while I was there and even building my brand in craft beer, there was not women, there were not Black people, there was not any diversity in the craft beer scene in Tampa. I say all that to say, though, like, you know, community is very important. And when you're in certain communities, you have to be able to bring them out. The only people who probably are okay right now are your Angry Chairs and Cycle Brewing. Other people are really probably up in theirs because Angry Chair is a community brewery first. You have people who are out there. I remember when Angry Chair opened up, and I remember when I first got into craft beer was when they opened up. That was my backyard brewery. I wanted to go there first for beer before I went anywhere else, before I went down to Jug and Bottle, before I went over to Publix, before I went to Total Wine, before I went to Whole Foods, any of my other selections, because of the bond I had with, this is my community brewery. I'm going to see what they have first, and then I'll get to those other places later because they're going to always have what I need later. But I think it's really a strong sense of community. When you come to Atlanta, when I tell you the bond that people have with these breweries here, it took me so much to even get any kind of responses. I felt like I was a reporter trying to pull news from breweries when really I'm just trying to highlight y'all and let people know how good your beer is. And I can't even really write about you and blog about you because you won't even sit down and speak with me. Whereas here, I went to places and people were waiting on me before I even knew they were coming. And now I feel like I have a sense of loyalty to these places. I still spend money there, but they still have love for me and I have love for them. And now it's like, you know what, before, when I go buy my beer now, I'm stopping by my local brewery, but for me in particular, I'm stopping by my local beer market, which is what I'm supporting. My local breweries, fortunately here in Atlanta, my local breweries are good with the support that they get in their community. Does everybody need more right now? Of course, everybody needs more right now. But it's very good to see that the beer community here in Atlanta is really supporting local. They're going places. They're going to Pontoon. They're going to Monday Night. They're going to New Run. They're going all of these places, and they're showing that, hey, we're picking up local. And I make it a point to let people know, go local, support your local brewery. I always make that a point. I could be drinking stuff from anywhere and everywhere. I could be trading all the time. If my local breweries are putting out good stuff, I push people, go local, go local, go local. And at times like this, put your money in their pockets. I go to Reformation Brewery, which is one of my very close, tight-knit breweries here. They're a couple miles up the street. I go there and I pick up stuff. They've given me cases of stuff. We've done collaboration stuff with them, everything. Like, they're really good to me. And the best way for me to pay them back is to make sure I'm telling people, hey, when you're in this area, you need something, go there. Go pick up a beer there. They have a nice outside area. You can pick up a beer, walk around, get you a crowler, get you any of that stuff, get you some good options and stuff. People here are going local. They really are.
Well, that's good. So is the message, how would they, what's kind of the message? Because I saw Reformation today. I know they're getting ready to open back up. And I think maybe some others are well. What's kind of the overlying message? Like, how have breweries handled the COVID situation generally up there?
I haven't seen any breweries show desperation at this point, but like I said, I think that's because of the support that people truly get from the community. Atlanta is the city of popularity, and in order to be popular, you have to have something about you that pops. But fortunately around here, there's enough people and enough space and enough enterprise to go around that people can pop in their own ways, and there's a niche market for it. So with that being said, for smaller breweries or for breweries that probably aren't known over here, they still have their communities. Like, that's all I can really tell you right now is that's what I'm seeing. The breweries aren't showing, if they are, that, you know, hey, we're hurting right now, we're going through this, but they're still putting out beers, there's still releases, there's still stuff in stock, and there's still new stuff, and they're still pushing stuff through, which is what's important for me, even, you know, as someone in the beer community, as a blogger, as an influencer. I need y'all guys not to be selling old stuff. I need y'all to still be pushing out stuff, because that's where the money is, and that's what is going on. People don't even understand if you know the nitty gritty about craft beer and you know about taxes, you know that people are required to brew a certain amount of beer per year. And if they don't, they get taxed on how much they don't. And if they do too much, they get taxed on how much they do. So it's just like,
I know.
Where are all of the safe ranges? Where's the word pandemic and all of the paperwork and the legal terms and conditions to save these people who literally have went through a battle with Georgia just to be a regular brewery, just to be able to have someone to come up and buy a beer and walk away? That's what we, I think, have different from a lot of places. And that's when I can say when I came up here was different from Florida. When I came up here, this beer people here had a different perspective. When we're in Florida, I can set my dog up on the bar. Who cares? Like, that's the kind of play. And my child next to my beer with my dog at the bar. That's how Florida is. I came here and I'm like, y'all can't have a dog inside, even if it's on a leash.
Yeah,
people saw a lot here.
Different. Georgia's different. I mean, like I said, I've lived in both.
Yeah.
Georgia's probably more conservative in Florida.
Very much conservative.
Blue laws. We're still. I think didn't they just get rid of those a couple years ago?
I want to say before I moved here in a good time, because I think before I came up here, there was still a lot of Bible Belt things going on here.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and that's a lot of this. Obviously, is with time, everything changes.
I literally just watched the Waco Netflix series today, and then I'm looking at my neighbor next door to me like, you could have been in a commune before you moved over into his apartment. Like that's.
I see dudes every once in a while. I'm like, man, could that dude be a cult member?
You could be a cult member.
I could be a cult member.
Yeah, she barely speaks to people. She doesn't leave the house. Everything gets delivered to her. She puts these weird things up during Passover. I don't know. She's really weird.
Oh man!
Don't give away too much info. I haven't watched that Netflix series yet, but I'm interested.
Oh, not too much. If you know, I mean, everybody who knows about Dave Koresh and the Davidians and stuff. I've always seen multiple documentaries. I think Netflix did put it together in a great film,
entertaining way.
Yeah.
I think you'll enjoy it. It's binge worthy.
That's really how I want my history.
So I'm looking forward to it.
That's how I want my history now. I just want it to be entertained by history. I don't necessarily want that's
what we've become. We're so dumb as a society. That's what it has to be. It has to be.
I mean, so I just need, especially now, have a lot of time to TV watch. So, so please make your history as entertaining as possible. Like
the original Quarantine.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So Johnny, what are you drinking?
Oh yeah.
So funny you said that. All right, so I am drinking, and this is a little bit out of character for me, but I have a neighbor who brought me some beer a couple of days ago. Like I'm telling you, Kevin, one of the things that's happened with this show is that when people know you have the show, they're like, "Oh shit, you should try this." And so he brought me some beer, it was decent, whatever. And so in return, I brought him. And this is from Prairie Ales called Rainbow Sherbet. I'm not like a sour drinker.
Yeah.
But I bought it. It's sherbet flavors. I don't know much about this beer, to be honest with you, because I'm not really a sour drinker. But I will say this. It has a moderate level of tartness. Got sort of a kind of a natural fruity flavor. It's not bad. Because it's not my style, I wouldn't necessarily I wouldn't plow through like a 6-pack of this per se. But as I'm sitting here drinking it, I'm like, this is actually fine. It's not, the thing I'm always kind of like, that makes kind of distance me from sours is that it's just like too tart and too like, just like,
it's a narrow window of making it right where you want it to be. It has such a narrow window.
Yeah, exactly.
It's easy to miss.
Narrow.
And I tend, if I drink any sours at all, I tend to ones that are more of a fruit base, and that's what this is. And Prairie's amazing.
Oh, they're awesome. Are they Oklahoma? Where are they located?
Yeah. Oklahoma.
Okay. Yeah, they make phenomenal beer.
They're like kind of the standard in all this. Like, matter of fact, there's been a lot of people who've come and made great sours since Prairie has been doing it. Prairie's been actually doing it before it was like really popular to do this. And so it's Rainbow Sherbet. It's actually not bad. It's a little slightly tropical in terms of the flavors, but it's good. It's solid. That's what I'm drinking. Chris, what are you drinking?
I've had that one, by the way. The Prairie Artisan Rainbow Sherbet. It's okay. I just recently had a slush one from them, which was a sour. I forget what they had in it. I think I have the can somewhere in there, but that one's okay. I'm only saying that because I just had another Rainbow Sherbet beer from Untitled Art and it really hit the nail on the head. And they really do a great job in executing their beers, which everything for me these days is really about execution of the style. I'm not new to beer anymore, so I'm not just drinking it because I like it or it tastes good. I'm really just drinking it to kind of, just fill out, certain stuff and see if they really, did what they were supposed to do with the beer. So I decided to drink this new local beer Monday night. So this one's Dr. Robot. As you know, this one's a familiar one. But this is actually a new release. I don't know when they came out with this. It could have been a day or two ago. I know when I picked it up from Smyrna Beer Market, that's my local beer market out here, it was on the table with all the new stuff that they just got. So this one is actually a key lime sour. So it has key lime juice added, 5% ABV, tart, refreshing, fruited. I guess you could say tartness, sour, more on the tart side more than sour.
What would you eat with it? Are we talking like sour candy or key lime pie?
Sour candy. I was going to say the key lime juice for me, lime is like not really artificial, but it's kind of hard to explain because you kind of know when you have that fresh lime taste, and then you do know when you have like a non-fresh or non-lime.
Well, yeah, non-fresh. You get more flavor out of the zest, actually.
Yeah. So I think it's more of it is more of a juice in there, but it's not bad at all. It's pretty tart. I wish I had it a little colder because it's warming up now, but now that it's warming up, it's getting slightly bready. And if I had it very, very cold, I'm pretty sure it would be 10 times better because it would be.
It sounds like a sweat beer. Like you need to be sweating to probably drink it.
Lawnmower beer.
Yeah. It's Bud Light Lime times 3.
Ah, okay. So it's what Bud Light Lime could have been.
Yes, very much so. It's like Corona with lime, but adding more limes in there.
Well, so Corona right now is a bad word. So
Corona is such a bad word, man. What do you guys think about the sales and stuff of Corona going down? I mean, I guess that's a good thing.
Well, now
I think they can afford it, is what I think.
Yeah, of course. It spiked for a minute, though. But you know what? Okay, so I read an article about this. This is kind of a crazy thing. So it went down initially when it first came out. Then it spiked because people love irony. And so they're drinking Corona for a second. But when things got real and people really getting COVID and dying, that it started to kind of go down again, and so it's a crazy thing. I don't know. I actually, in the cheap beer class, Corona is actually like one of my least favorites, because it's not very flavorful to me.
Not at all.
And so
I have to add like a shot of limon or something to it for me to want to drink it, and that just makes it drinkable.
Exactly.
In the cheap, like if I was going to get cheap beer, I'd be getting it probably to cook, not really to ingest. So, and I don't know if that would even rank high for me.
Yeah, not at all.
I think it's got some weird
club beer.
Yeah.
I think it has some weird off flavors. I think Corona actually be hard to cook with. I think.
Well, if you're going to Mexican food, like let's say I'm going to make like Mexican sausage, and I want to cook it in beer and maybe like saute like the onions in beer and things like that.
Yeah.
I think just the novelty of using a Mexican beer while you're doing it, because like a real good cerveza, I'd rather actually just drink. But if you're going to be a cooking Mexican beer, I think Corona is the one. At least, just my opinion. I'm definitely not a chef, so. I am drinking Sierra Nevada's. If I can get it in there, coffee stout.
I was just thinking of Sierra Nevada when you were talking about beer sausage.
It's I would say it's not in the it's not like in the awesome wing of Sierra Nevada beers. But it's not bad, for a coffee stout. It's got some richness to it. It's got a little bit of body. I think that's probably one of the parts that's really missing, because we do a coffee beer show, so we're kind of coffee beer snobs every year about this. Like Reve does circles around it out of Louisiana. It's so much better.
Well, it's almost not fair. Reve, that's
like even like some of our previous winners that we've had on the show that we know are very popular beers, they're all heading beyond this. Because I think when I think of Sierra Nevada and what makes them great, other than say the consistency and quality control to distribute the way they do, is just the fact that everything they do is all driven around hops, combination of hops. how they utilize their malt profiles to allow the hops come through. I never think of coffee stout as something from Sierra Nevada.
Right, not at all. I've never even seen that beer.
You gotta get one of their value pack trader packs out, which it has Flipside Red and then Torpedo and then of course Pale Ale. You can't buy anything from them that doesn't have Pale Ale in it.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have a coffee mug too. Just why not?
Cheers.
Cheers. So all good beers for sure. So Chris, tell me about your YouTube channel.
Oh my gosh, no. It's not doing well at all because
what?
Video.
I saw the beer and bougie video. I didn't see the other one. I haven't had a chance.
I put the beer and bougie video on there a while ago, and then I put one on there to kind of do like a mukbang, and then to do a giveaway to get all of my following up, and then that was a while ago, and YouTube is another beast. Like, for one to have to take on another social media challenge is another thing, but our social media channel, is another thing to have to deal with. But as much as I don't mind doing video and content and stuff, it's just like, it's sometimes a lot to juggle, and I haven't had the motivation I need to be on YouTube. But
yeah.
I told myself that it's something I'm going to work on this week/weekend. Because there's no more excuses for it. I have topics and things that I need to go over, and this is a perfect time to be putting content out. And I'm so disappointed in myself that I have let so many weeks go by without doing any videos and everything. But that is something I'm putting on my plate to go ahead and start doing. So, I made the YouTube for a reason. I have it there. It's just a matter of, like, I don't mind saying the stuff. I just don't like to edit the stuff and put it together. So that's sometimes I get discouraged, but no more being discouraged. I'm going to get out there and make sure I do what I said I was going to do. And that is something that is just new and different I wanted to bring to the table, just to kind of see how people engage with that. And then also to be able to deliver content in a certain way and put stuff out there that I'm not able to do with measures through Instagram or Facebook. So.
Well, yeah. Well, all right. I mean, I've worked in social media before, and like honestly, YouTube pays more dividends, but it's more effort. Like to be, I'll put it this way: to be great, it's more effort. Like you can put a video up. Like I'm gonna put this video on YouTube, and I'm actually in the same.
That has to be the thing you do. You have to be like a YouTuber, and until you get into the groove and the flow of like, oh, I have my own setup, and boom, 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 I could just press record and go. It takes a lot of time and attention.
It does. I mean, honestly, this wasn't the. I mean, we had the YouTube channel. We've had the YouTube channel as long as we've had the show, which is since 2015. We haven't really done much with it. We're really doing something with it now. Is because we'll
getting audio files to put on YouTube. YouTube doesn't make it easy.
Yeah, these Zoom calls are not hard though. Like this the one we did the other day, Kevin.
Well, this is easy because it is an MP4 file and it has video. But we've got plenty of really good recording files that could easily just go and become even an audio only with our logo on YouTube, but converting them to get them into YouTube, you need like an IT degree. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's hard. I think it's probably easier than when we started, but not easy. Like because you get new technology comes out every day. The biggest thing I think with YouTube is that it's consistency. You have, and so the effort. So if you're putting in an effort into this, you got to do it over and over and over and over and over and over again.
It becomes basically a video production show.
Yeah. You got to do that, and it doesn't have to be amazing.
Staff. and
it doesn't have to be amazing. You just have to be careful. Like you got to have at least a modest amount of effort, but it doesn't have to be like incredible. But you do got to do something more so than posting Instagram or posting Facebook.
You require a little bit of work, is what I'm saying, which is why I've been slacking. But
we'll
get there.
Same here. I mean, we wouldn't even be doing our YouTube very much now, but like literally, we're not doing regular podcasting shows, so we're gonna do something. So these Zoom calls are easy to produce. I mean, I think I think I might do some Instagram lives too, but that's kind of a different animal too. And then the thing with Instagram with video is that you can't like Okay, so I'll probably put some of this video on Instagram, but literally I can only put like maybe 5 minutes or something like that. We're like a half hour in now.
Yeah.
So, you know, that, so
Yeah.
there's like, it's a weird thing. Yeah, I don't know. We're doing it. This will be on here. It'll be nice. We have hardly, YouTube hasn't been particularly good to us. Instagram's been better. You know, like it just is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you're on YouTube though. I am glad you're on YouTube. I think you'll kill it.
You want to have presence is key. I went to school for marketing and advertising and stuff like that. So presence is very important. It's key. You want to have presence everywhere. Everybody can't know about you if you're not everywhere for them to know about you.
Yeah, exactly. So, but tell me about your event too, though. Like, tell me about. I wanted to go to. We haven't chatted since then. Yeah, it's been a while. So, Beer and Bougie, that took place September of 2019 on my birthday, end of September. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Right. I was about to say it was right after I was up there. Yeah.
Yeah. So September 20th, that was my first event up here in Atlanta. My first beer exclusive event. What I wanted to do is just kind of highlight my Black-owned breweries in Atlanta, and also anybody in alcohol, spirits, and so forth. That
Hey, I think I can't hear you. Let me get.
Might be her internet.
Oh wait, can you hear me?
There she goes.
Oh, I lost it. The last thing I heard is that the alcohol
Black-owned spirits. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. So what I was saying is, well, let me turn my Wi-Fi off on my phone. Y'all got me feeling like my Wi-Fi's down.
Probably all the porn you're downloading.
It could be on this little Chromebook.
See, it's not built for all of that.
It's really not. So what I was saying is, what I wanted to do was make it an experience that highlights my Black-owned breweries and people in alcohol and spirits. So I partner with a few local brands and businesses here, including Down Home Brewing, Konzo Brewing, Rams and Parrots, and I partner with a friend of mine who's a chef, and we paired up the beers, made a menu and stuff. We worked on it for weeks and stuff to kind of put up together what we wanted to do. And got me a good venue. Everything, honestly, I wanted to be able to bring like a big Black-owned experience. So my venue was a Black-owned loft and event space. My chef, everybody who I kind of partner with for all of my services and things, you know, women, Black-owned, minorities, just to more so highlight that, not that people don't have a space, but no one's done anything like that.
No, they haven't actually.
And even in Atlanta, like, you know, you see that we have the Fresh Fest, and it's the first Black-owned beer fest, but it's not even in Atlanta. And it's like, you know, you would think the place who would own that kind of experience would be a place like this. So I had a great turnout, sold out, had so many people out there. We dressed up nice, looked good, had a great time, great food, awesome. Great beer share. So people brought beers to share. I had beers around for some of my favorite beers, some of my gateway beers, and just everything for people to try who I know if it were to take something for someone like me in this day and age, you know, a Black gay woman to be introduced to craft beer, what would it take for me to get into it? And I know that if I was in a room and an experience like that some of my friends invited me to, or if I knew my friend was putting it on, that would really make me say, man, I had a great time. I didn't even know Black people drank beer or even brew beer. I want to try more stuff like this. Hell, I want to try beer. And that's what a lot of the stuff was. Like, I had a lot of the Sweetwater 420 beer, like, you know, just I had buckets around of different beers that I enjoyed. So I had the 420. I had some stuff from Pontoon because I like sours. I had some stuff from Three Taverns. I had some Le Fen du Monde because that was my gateway beer. I had like a lot of stuff in there, and to see what people were chugging on, I saw what the guys were chugging on, what the girls were drinking, what everybody enjoyed. They loved it. Like, they really, really loved it. So it's something I want to be doing annually on my birthday, around my birthday time when I can. In September is something I'm going to be putting on, and hopefully the world open back up in a timely manner so we can go ahead and do it again this year.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that sounds amazing. I can tell you, we'll do everything we can to support it. Get people to freaking come up here to there to do it. I need to get back up there. I haven't been since. Well, actually, I went to Atlanta at the end of the year this year, but but yeah, I haven't been. Obviously, now it's going to be a while before I get to Atlanta. But if you host it there, if I can break Kevin out.
And I might even do something like it was very intimate.
I was paying really hard that week.
But it was nice and it was intimate and everybody really enjoyed themselves and that's just one of the many things I want to be able to do. So that was just something to kind of break the ice and it was really great. I was glad I was able to put it on. Got to I was supposed to display some art, but that didn't work out. But that's okay.
That's all good. That's all good. Well, tell me about the travels as well. Like I said, I feel like you've done a lot since last we all congregated.
Y'all making me feel like I did a lot. That's good. So the last time since I spoke to you guys, I didn't do too much traveling last year, but I did hit up Seattle at the end of the year. Great trip. I was there for about a good 5-6 days. Stayed with one of my good friends and kind of just backpacked it throughout the city. So I caught the bus. I was like, I'm not paying $40 and stuff to Uber and stuff. To get somewhere and to get back somewhere, it's like, that's just too much. If you can get me a bus ticket or something so I can get on there and not have to pay for the bus, I will make sure I set my time aside so I can hop on that bus, get into the city, because it's not too far. It's not a huge city. So it just took me
very spread out.
Yeah.
Like separated by bridges, too. It's a very inconvenient city.
You have to, in order to get into downtown Seattle, you have to get on those bridges to come into it. So
it's like
once you're in here, though,
up in New York, it's like nothing's far away, but it takes forever to get there.
Right. So that's how
there's no place to park.
Yes. So I'm glad that I did that. It, just was fun for me, my experience. It just was, Seattle's clean. It's beautiful. I had a nice experience. It was tranquil. It wasn't too cold and gusty and windy and rainy. It still was rainy, but it wasn't too bad. I went mid-December and I stopped by a good 6 to 7 different breweries, brew pubs. I had a great experience. One of my most memorable and some of my most favorites were Urban Family and Dirty Couch Brewing. They were walking distance from each other. I planned to go to Urban Family, had some great stuff there, got a bomber from them to go, and then I went over to Dirty Couch, and that was like a spot I wasn't expecting, a really small brewery spot, like 10 people can fit in there, and they had sour beers out of this world, and it was just the place made for me, and I was smiling, I'm blushing thinking about it now. It was just so great, because I was like, this is a place I've been needing. They had like all types of recipes with sour beers, and I was like, who made this beer? So they were really incredible. I can't wait to go back. Had some really good beers, amazing oysters, seafood, everything, like the markets and stuff. Everything was really cool. Actually found out about coronavirus while I was there. So when I came back to Atlanta and stuff, I already knew when coronavirus started to hit the media as far as America in January. I had already knew about what was going on with coronavirus in China and Seattle, because Seattle is a huge hub for China. So you have a lot of people going straight in, straight out, like they would Atlanta for anywhere else. So that's when I started to see videos of people like dropping dead and stuff from the virus. I'm like, what in the hell is going on? So like that's when I started to learn about it. So it was really weird and crazy. And then like coming back from Christmas break and then just being cognizant of what was going on with that, because I knew it was something fishy and weird. And then for it to come to the States, I knew when it was going to hit here, it was probably going to hit there first.
Oh, yeah.
Visiting and traveling, and then knowing about, that being a big hub, which is, I think it was in Washington State, one of the first few cases. So it's really crazy. Like, I feel for people out there who, like, I'm pretty sure, like, they're really feeling it. And you have people who are really stuck in the house. You have people in New York who are really, like, I have a few beer buddies up there who I try to keep in contact with and write here and back and forth and stuff, and they're doing good. But I'm like, you have families and stuff, and it's New York, like they're shut down. Unless you're going to the grocery store, you will get arrested out there.
They're gonna be the last one to open too, even when all this finally starts.
Yeah.
Because they're literally on top.
The population's way too dense in there. It's too many people in one small spot.
I think that's honestly what's going to happen is I think the lesser populated places, the more sparse places are going to open first because they're probably less cases, and opening there is not as impactful.
Right.
But if you're in a big city, yeah, it's going to take a minute. Like I would even say, honestly, okay, so Tampa's not big at all, but Tampa's probably too big to open quickly.
Yes.
And we're a spread out, moderately popular.
Florida has a lot of cases.
And Florida has a ton of cases.
It peaked, and the thing is, it hasn't peaked yet for Georgia or Atlanta, which makes me nervous. So I've noticed, even with them opening up the city, I noticed a week or two ago about the activity around here. Like, people are really feeling like it's okay for them to go out and congregate and do all this stuff. And it's like, this stuff is not okay. It's not safe. And you got to really play it smart and be safe. Like, I have one friend who I go to visit. My roommate, he has his friend that he goes and visit. And it's kind of like, those are our best friends and stuff. So we kind of go visit them and stuff. And I'm like, I know that she's only in one or two places because she's always at home. And it's like, just trying to, even though, it seems unrealistic, but in some ways really gouge out and really just say, hey, I'm going to keep it to this. I'm going to just keep my exposure very minimal. And the last thing anybody wants is to get sick with any of these super viruses, in my opinion, that are going around right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know for me, like that. Yeah, the only people I've actually seen is two other people who live in this house, my parents and their family, and my wife's family.
Yeah.
Literally, so like all told, like less than 15 people in the last month. Yeah, that's it. Like, that's the hardest part, really, is that, I think communication has stepped up. Like, me and Kevin, Kevin and Kevin talking every day anyway, but like, very much. But like, other people have kind of reached out to me like, hey, how's it going? Like, I'm really, whatever. But like, I haven't seen people, like, actually seen them, like people I know. Like, yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a while now. Like, it creeps up on you, actually. And that's the hard part, is the indefiniteness of it. Like, and I know here in particular, it's more, I think the dates are probably more specific in other parts of the country. Florida is like all over the place. Like, it was May 1st, and then it was May 31st, and then it was June 8th. Now I think it's like June 11th. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's the same thing for Atlanta in particular. I don't necessarily see the city opening back up or getting back into its full state until probably about mid-June.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I think, as for you guys, honestly, the rest of the state will open up before the city. Like, right. You'll be able to do stuff in like Waycross, Georgia,
and it should. It should be how it goes. I mean, like, honestly, the person who's making decisions for Metro Atlanta should be the person who states, hey, it's okay. Go to your restaurant.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Absolutely. LJ should be able to do it probably now, and they're probably at very, very low risk, provided that they're not being stupid.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of how it has to be, because you're on the ground. Because God forbid, if anything did happen in Atlanta, they will roast her. They're like, absolutely.
They will slaughter our mayor. And mind you, I'm still a Florida resident, but our mayor is great here. Like, even since she's been mayor, since I've moved here, I've noticed a shift in like just how you can see the pleasantry between people here. People feel safe. They feel protected. They feel like they have a government in their own city that really takes care of them. And people, Keisha Lance Bottoms has a lot of respect around here. So when I said that, even jokingly, I truly mean, when your mayor is named Keisha, if Keisha say we ain't going nowhere, we ain't going nowhere. Until Keisha say we are going somewhere. And that's what you can tell. People are really like, nah, we don't care about no Governor Kemp. Our mayor literally kind of bitch-faced everybody, like, walk out the house if you want to and see what happened. And everybody's okay with it. As much as people want to get back to business and stuff, we understand. There's like no question. Like, I went out today to go run an errand right before I got on this car, around 3 or 4 o'clock. I was like, man, I'm gonna get stuck in traffic, because I started noticing it was a bit of people out. But I'm like, I'm going through Edgewood area downtown, and I'm like, these places are not open. These Black-owned businesses too, they're not open. Nobody's open right now. Everybody was supposed to be open today. I'm riding by salons. I'm riding by barbershops. And I'm like, I'm just thankful and appreciative that these business owners and everybody in the city that I'm in is aligned and on the same page to say, we're still going to stay away. We value our health. We value our well-being. We value our families, our children, our community. We're going to stay away for another week or two until we get to the point where they say, oh, y'all thought y'all could open before. Y'all can really open up now. Y'all can do everything you want to do because the numbers are very, very low or at such a minimal that, you know, nobody would be affected by it. But I'm not.
You're being responsible. You know, you're
being responsible, not being some expert who feels like it's okay for us to risk 2 to 3 lives in a classroom per school. No.
Yeah. In fact, getting schools open is probably the one of the biggest, like how are we ever going to get to an agreement on how that's going to go?
Oh, well, that's going to be a hard part. Like, I know specifically for down here, schools aren't going to open again this year.
Oh, yeah.
And
Florida don't have money anyway. Florida kind of glad because they be cheap and broke, but I know that because I was a product of the Florida education.
Oh, man.
So are we.
So we are. Like, my wife works in the system now. Yeah, not to be all, I'm not an immunologist or whatever. I didn't think I pronounced it right. Schools are the toughest one because schools touch so many populations in general.
People can't go back to work until that's going to happen.
Yeah, and I love my daughter. You can imagine, kids are germy.
Yeah.
They're germy as they really are. And so
but they need to. They have to get the antibodies from other children, but we want it to be diseases that won't kill them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like mild colds and stuff.
So well, not that anyone over here is an expert at anything, but have you guys noticed that of the cases and things that we see, we don't hear an alarming rate of children and small children, not babies, but I mean, like, you know, 5-year-olds, they're probably the worst, that, are really being triggered by this virus or anything. And it's making me think, what are they eating that we don't eat? Because it's taking us out. But these kids are running around like mutant ninja turtles, and it's like nothing's happening to them. And it's probably because milk isn't really cow's milk anymore, and they're just consuming chemicals.
Yeah, right.
I've only heard of one. I think one 5-year-old, I think, died, that they're tying it to coronavirus. And
there's an 11-year-old here who was fighting for her life for a while who passed away a couple weeks ago. I was slightly keeping up with the story.
And I don't know if they had another health issue, too, to go along with it.
That's the thing. Yeah.
So, but you're right. That they're not really succumbing to it. It's not really something that's...
And kids have fragile immune systems.
They tend to.
Because they don't have all the antibodies to fight things.
That's all the things that gotta like figure out is like, okay, so why aren't kids getting it? Why are why it's a lot to this, and it's gonna take a minute to figure this all out. But yeah, like they slow played the whole school closing down here for a while, but it's one of those things that certain people are kind of like this whole time have been like, there's no way. Like when it was initially like April 15th, at one point it was April 15th, like schools will reopen on April 15th. People were saying then schools weren't going to open up the rest of this year, like at that point. And this was like in March, because it's like I said, because it's not so much that anything that speaks to the severity per se. It's just schools are very germy, and kids go everywhere, and it crosses. I mean, like every part of the city has a school, like all of them, everyone, even the rural area.
And in America, we don't play about children dying.
Yeah, exactly. Well, kids can be carriers too, and they can, like they, it's the kid might not die, but like
the whole class will, because one of them sneezed on the chalkboard and everybody wrote the lesson plan up there. Some nasty stuff. That's why I don't have kids. I don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. Y'all stress me out about stuff I don't have to be stressed about.
It's stressful. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this.
I know it is. I'm here for you.
Thank you. I appreciate this. Well, hey, I got a couple of things. Okay, so we're moving on from this. A couple of things that I want to talk about, and then I'm doing a question of the day for each time I do this.
Sure.
So, all right. So one thing I have noticed a bunch is there has been an influx of COVID-related beers, COVID-themed beers, and so I actively look. Yes. So I actively look for it, and I'm gonna see if I can find the COVID-related beer of today. Yes. Tell me if you can see this on my screen share. Okay, all right. You have to tell me. I'm not exactly sure if I can.
There we go. Yep, I see it.
Yes, the Quarantiki.
Lord Hobo. Good stuff. Good beer.
Oh, it's by Lord Hobo. Lord Hobo makes
a lager.
beer.
That's an Indian Pale Lager.
Yeah.
Ooh, IPL.
I want to try that.
I know. I'm actually trying to talk to our Connect about getting this. Actually,
absolutely.
Like,
we can do a Zoom review.
We can. I don't know. So that's just that's something that's out there. That's the only one I found this week. I've been on the hunt for these.
I have not seen anybody do any type of quarantine or COVID beer releases or anything like that. And I'm in the beer markets looking at everything one by one. I would have picked it up. I know I haven't seen it because I know me, and I know that I need to be able to bring some hot, fluffy stuff to my page. If I saw a beer that said corn beer, I would have picked that beer up. I don't care if it was a cider. I would have picked it up. So I know I haven't been seeing anybody, locally or the people who distribute here. No one's been doing that. But to be completely honest with you, it's nice to play up on the quarantine. Be careful and selective with how you do stuff. This is how you can become one of those comedians that gets butchered and no one ever thinks they're funny again. It depends on everybody can. If you're good at what you do, you should be able to put it out and everybody respond in a well way to it. And I say that to compare it with comedy because we see comedians who die sometimes behind making jokes when it's a joke. And truly the joke was great and the joke was funny. But if you're really good at what you do, you would know how to deliver it so that no one is offended by that. As I always say, you can talk about R. Kelly without making his victims feel bad. You don't have to make them feel bad. If you know what you're doing, you can make jokes. A lot of times with these beers, I think people are probably trying to keep it safe because you can give me something with quarantine, but if you put coronavirus or something like that in a beer, I will find that offensive. People are dying from coronavirus and not dying from quarantine. So you have to be very particular, very, just strategic with what you put out, the message in it, and so forth. Because we know breweries get buried, and people wait on the day for them to mess up on some stuff. So
and that's the thing. I haven't seen very many of them, but I've seen a few. Matter of fact, I stumbled onto it by accident. Actually, like just happened going through. Like I'm on Instagram every day, and I just saw it. I was like, it's interesting. I wonder if this is like a trend. So I Googled it, and they're not very many, but they are some. This is like the fourth one we saw. There's one named after Dr. Fossey.
I think it's one.
What's that?
Like fuck COVID was one of them.
There's like a fuck.
That sounds like something Scofflaw would do.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to see. I don't have it up where I could share the screen, but there's like a fuck COVID one. I forget what that. I forget. It's a brewery in Milwaukee. I thought the Dr. Fossey one was like Wild Hog or something like that. One of those, something local to Atlanta. Hold on, my dog is going crazy. Oh, it's because my niece is coming in. So, but yeah. So it's just an interesting trend. I don't know. I don't know if I can.
You'll see more of it. You're gonna see a lot more of it.
I'm gonna look into it.
I'm
gonna look into it. I just typed in the hashtag and stuff to kind of.
It may not get canned or bottled. It might be like you go there and we made a special batch called stay at home.
If it's something at the brewery, cool. But be careful if you put stuff like that out on a can.
Yeah. Everything I've seen canned so far because there's no tap.
This is the time where you ask people, "What do you think about this?"
I think they want to sell beer, and I think they're just capitalizing on the popularity.
Definitely understand.
And everything's a reaction. Obviously, we're at a moment right now where there is so much intense pressure and uncertainty about everything. Like people fear for their life going to Publix.
Right.
Like we've never lived this. No one alive has ever lived that. so everything coils back. You know,
Right.
you either laughing or crying. So, you know, so I think that's that. And then the last thing that I want to show is my question for today is something I saw on a podcast called The Beerus. Let's see if I can find this. Yeah. Okay. I'll see if I can share it. Share a screen. Love technology. This is great. Yeah, here we go. All right. So of your basic, let me know if you can see this. Let me see if your basic IPAs, your as Kevin so affectionately termed your throwaway IPAs, and these are like the Hall of Fame of
because they produce so much of it. It's based on volume.
All right. So
yes.
Which okay, choose 3 of this list, and I'm gonna start with you, Chris.
The key.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, pick 3.
I'm choosing 3 that I want to keep.
Yeah, 3 that you want to keep.
Definitely Two Hearted Ale.
Okay.
Is that 60-minute IPA in the middle?
Yep, that's 60.
Yeah,
Definitely 60. You could bury Ballast under some concrete alive. I wouldn't want that beer. I cannot stand Ballast Point beers.
She's not a Sculpin fan, I guess.
Oh, I do not. Any of their beers I've ever had, I don't like.
Oh my god.
I think their stuff's good.
Oh, I would say Voodoo Ranger is cool. I've never been crazy about Sierra Nevada. It's going to be between Voodoo Ranger and Lagunitas for me.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Lagunitas. That's my kickback IPA. I'm going to go with Lagunitas. Two Hearted is definitely on there. And then 60-minute.
Okay.
Very excellent, very well brewed IPA. And I'm not a crazy IPA person. That's probably one of my least favorite styles of beers, but I'm no dummy when it comes to good IPAs. I really wanted to put Sierra Nevada in there, but it's just not one of my faves. Not compared to everything in there.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Stone has good stuff. Don't get me wrong. Stone's good. I will admit to you, I don't know what that one is next to 60 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. To the left, I can't tell what that is.
I can't tell what that bottom right one is.
Yeah, the same thing. I'm intrigued because they literally have a giant hop right on the front.
Yes, I was like, maybe.
I think my selections would be slightly different. I think New Belgium, other than maybe like Fat Tire, I think most New Belgium is kind of crappy. I don't think Voodoo Ranger is really that great. I do agree Two Hearted is phenomenal, so I would be all about some Two Hearted. I like 60-minute, but it's not really in the wheelhouse of what I love so much from Dogfish Head.
Yes, agreed.
Torpedo, I know a lot about Torpedo. It gets its name from the funnel pool it creates in the fermenter, because they actually literally take the liquid out of the fermenter and run it. They have a consistent movement of, instead of dry hopping, they just have like a cone of hops outside the fermenter and they run it through the cone. So I would say that's a pretty solid, consistent beer, but it's not of my faves. Stone in the top would probably be my second choice. I think Stone makes crazy good IPAs.
I never get fresh Stone IPAs, but I have New Realm Brewing, so.
There you go. They're also California. In fact, the entire top row and Torpedo is in Chico. Those are all California. Lagunitas is usually very good and consistent, but they have like a whole bunch of like extremely similar malt profiles and hop profile beers that they change one thing and throw labels on it.
I was going to say, I don't see too much. I've seen 1 or 2 one-offs from them, even with the 420 or a hemp beer or something, but they don't really give me too much.
But it's mostly consistent. You use just regular Lagunitas IPA.
Yeah.
I think Ballast Point is actually really good. In fact, I might go Two Hearted, Stone, Ballast Point.
Yeah.
Johnny, the floor's yours, bud.
Oh man. Okay, so this is easy. So by the way, I actually looked up the actual Instagram post. So the bottom right is actually Deschutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that I know Deschutes is on there, it's not a beer that I have that often. I probably wouldn't switch up my list for Deschutes.
Right, Johnny? Deschutes?
Yeah, I believe so. I've never had it, to be honest with you, so I can't really speak to it. I don't know if
I've had this one. I've been to Deschutes, but I don't know if I had that beer there.
Yeah, matter of fact, that one and the one I could not identify the middle row left. But those are the only ones two that definitely had. Everything else on here have had.
Is it Odell?
Is it an elephant or is that a bull? What is that on the logo?
It is a bronking. I think it's like a bronking.
That's an elephant, like a mammoth or something. Yeah. I think it's called Odell Brewing or something. Because people are putting Odell, and that's the only other one on here. We don't know.
Yeah, I think. Okay, it must be because I don't know. None of the other ones are Odell. That's Odell.
It's Odell Brewing. It is.
Their flagship IPA, probably.
Yeah, Odell Brewing IPA. I don't see too much about the name, but I did find it.
Yeah. So for me. My one is easily 60 Minute, like in a runaway. Really, I love 60 Minute.
That's good.
I it's like to the point where I love 60. I like 90. I think I've had 120. Maybe I think I had 120 at your wedding. I don't even remember. I don't.
Probably
remember.
From me. You probably had 120.
Yeah. Well, I know you had it at your wedding. I'm trying to remember if I think I had it. I don't know. It's super blurry memories from when Kevin got married. Yeah, so that 60 is an easy one. My other one would probably be, probably Two Hearted, because I've had a lot of Two Hearted. I've had probably more Two Hearted than anything else on here, because Two Hearted is widely available.
Yeah. You've had Stone though, right? Stone IPA?
Well, I've had everything on here except for Deschutes and Odell.
Okay.
And then
I've had Deschutes. It's been a Deschutes.
Yeah. Oh, Dad. Yeah, dude. Hold on. You're on mute.
Okay, my bad. I had put my hand on there.
I thought I did it.
I've had Deschutes before. It's been a while, but I've had Deschutes. I've never had anything from Odell. So I've had everything on the board except for Odell.
I've never even heard of Odell. It's like the only brewery on there.
Yeah, I've never heard of them either.
Yeah. My third one honestly is Sculpin.
So good.
Whenever I have it, I like it. It's not often. Sculpin is way overpriced in this market.
Yeah.
Like it's actually some crap, but every once in a while I've had it. Like I know a really nice pizza joint on the beach here, and they have a large beer selection, and they have there's one of the few places that has Ballast Point Sculpin on tap, like super rare in Florida, especially in the Bay Area. But I would say that Lagunitas is solid. I agree with Kevin's comments on that one. Torpedo's okay. I'm not a big Torpedo fan, to be honest.
Yeah, Torpedo's okay. Sierra Nevada's not bad. It's good gas station beer.
Yeah. It is. It really, because
it's one of those beers that I tell people, where can I get craft beer? They don't know anything, and I know they're that simple, and I know that I can't give them too much. It's like next time you go to a gas station, get Sierra Nevada, just to kind of get them into anything else that's not their standard.
I'm always okay. So you can't get good craft beer everywhere. Like not everywhere.
You shouldn't be able to.
Yeah. So some places you just can't get it. Like the beaches are actually really tough here. Like there are not a lot of great beer places like on the beach. Like you have to kind of buy your beer before you go to the beach.
You gotta go out to like Treasure Island, Mad City. That's it.
Masteries on St. Pete Beach is.
Oh yeah. Okay, I forgot about that.
That'd be the spot.
Yeah, they give us a class of the beaches. Most of the campus, there's not a lot of market for it. There's people are drinking Corona.
Right.
Maybe not anymore, but they were.
Right.
a lot less of it, but yeah. But so if you really want some good beer, if you want decent beer, and you're out there, you didn't buy it beforehand, I'll just be like, okay, go find Sierra Nevada, whatever they have, it's really decent. Two Heart is probably a part of that too, because you'll see a little bit Two Heart out there on the beach. Yeah. Now you'll see Cigar City Highlight out there. The Cigar City Highlight.
You see Cigar City Highlight mostly everywhere. Cigar City Highlight is pretty popping here too in Georgia.
I'm surprised it's not. I'm surprised Highlight's not even on here. It probably should be.
I'm a little surprised.
It should be on here.
It should be. It should replace Odell.
Yeah, whoever Odell is, like Highlight should be on there. Highlight was probably one of the first craft beers that I remember talking to people universally about that beer because everybody has had it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would agree with that. I honestly, everywhere I've been has had Highlight, like everywhere, like literally different states, other parts.
Right. Yeah, Highlight's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, Highlights, and every place here in Tampa, like even places that like really aren't craft beer places, they'll have Highlight, and I know they have Highlight. Like I remember, like I was visiting some friends, and they live like kind of towards South St. Pete, and there's like this little dive bar right around, like literally straight up, like this dive bar didn't have air conditioning, so we were there in like January, right? And like I was like, okay, I want some beer, whatever. I didn't want hard liquor. What do you guys have? I do not want Miller Lite, whatever. And they're like, oh, we have Highlight. I'm like, all right, so yeah, they had it, and it is a place that literally, when I say dive, I mean straight up. This is like not a shishi dive bar, like a real dive bar. Like.
Well, it's not hard to get cans of it. I mean, you see it everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, hell, if you go to the brewery, it's up to the ceiling. They have stacks and stacks of cans.
Stacks of them.
I mean, it kind of kills the value behind thinking like you're drinking like a high quality craft product when you see.
You're drinking a mass produced beer, a decent one, but still a mass produced beer. It is what it is. So, but all right. So
one last question I was going to ask. So based upon that graphic and kind of what the notion behind that graphic was, seeing those beers, if you were having to drink one of them with a meal, would you be picking the beer and then figuring out what you want to eat, or would you figure out what you want to eat and then try to pick one of these beers?
For the most part, Sierra Nevada is going to pair best. You have to just know what beers pair best with food. And Sierra Nevada, whether they intentionally do or don't, their beers pair very well because pale ale-ish, and pale ales pair well with food. So my first go-to would be Sierra Nevada for any pairing, probably followed by Voodoo Ranger.
But the Torpedo is not the pale ale. That's the extra.
Oh yeah, no. I was, excuse me, not the Torpedo specifically. Sorry, Torpedo. Personally, I don't like Torpedo, but I just feel like Sierra Nevada has just like this whole pale ale classification about them with their brand. But what I have noticed is when I even have gone to other events and things with other friends doing stuff and we've paired stuff, Sierra Nevada has always paired perfectly. And I think that maybe they do.
I think balance. They go for balance, I think, with their malt and their hop profiles.
Yeah, I would fully agree with that. Honestly, that one is actually stands out because I mean, the other ones obviously you can, like 60 you can.
Two Heart is good with the burger. I mean,
yeah, I like Two Hearted, but sometimes the malt profile on Two Hearted it can be very harsh.
Yeah, Voodoo's not bad.
I feel like every beer that New Belgium has is like watery, except for like Fat Tire.
That one, Voodoo. Is Voodoo a double IPA?
I don't think so.
No, it's not. It's a little on the.
But it has like this slight like sweetness in there.
It's a little on the stronger side, but it's technically not a double. It's like 7.8.
Okay, I was about to say that's pretty okay. Well, that's about a good range for IPA. I haven't had Voodoo Ranger in a long time. I just feel like the last time I had it, it was a little bit more on like a boozy, sweeter side than I was expecting.
It is a little boozier, sweeter. I like it okay, but it's not my favorite. I don't gravitate to it. They sell a lot of it here. It's in Publix. It's in like Target. But it's not like
To be honest with you, most of these beers I haven't had in a very long time unless it's Two Hearted. Because when I'm out places and I'm checking for what you have on tap, if it's not something that you know is local or something I know is truly craft, like I'm not going to pick it up. So fortunately though, you have stuff like Two Hearted that, if you go to good brew pubs or, restaurants and that have a nice little beer or bar selection, at least you'll know they'll probably have something like a Two Hearted. It's a good bar beer to go with like, bar food. So
yeah. Two Hearted is pretty versatile.
I haven't had Stone in years. I haven't had Stone in a very long time.
Me too.
Stone's quite good.
Craft like 5 years ago.
Stone would be a good one with food. I think if you were doing like a pizza, Stone would actually go well with it. Lagunitas would be probably easy to drink with a lot of food items. And 60 Minute is pretty good too, although that's East Coast style, not really like on your West.
Yeah,
that's true.
So,
true.
All right. Well, I was just curious.
But yeah, so well, Chris, thank you so much for
being on.
This is a pleasure. This is as always a pleasure.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for calling on me.
Oh, no problem. So we'll be getting this on our Facebook and our YouTube, and a portion of it will be on Instagram, and the link will be in our profile. So
okay. Well, sounds great. I'm on Facebook too, Craft Beer Chris, if you want to tag me anything. And thank you guys again for having me on here. It was nice chatting with you guys. I hope you all, I don't know what everyone's personal situation is, but I hope you guys are doing very well. I'll be keeping you guys in thoughts and prayers with everyone else, with your family and loved ones. And just keep your head to the sky. Great days are ahead of us. And, stay positive. Stay healthy.
Stay home. Same here for sure. All right. All right.